Doug and P back with another video. So guys, if you've been paying attention to the housing market, you know how crazy it is right now. Interest rates are at a 23-year high at like 8 point something percent, and home values have not gone down. It's crazy. I might do the article on my channel after this, but you're gonna pay 52% more for a mortgage than you would if you rent right now. Why are people buying houses in this market? Why? And I did another story on my channel where 122,000 more single women own houses than men. Why are people buying houses right now? Well, here's an article that says she bought her house as the market peaked. Now she regrets it. And this is a story of a woman that bought a house in 2022, and she hates every single part of it. We're going to get into this article. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And the reason why I did this story is I always say there's a difference in motivation between a guy buying a house and a girl buying a house. A guy buys a house and he'll look around and say, you know what? I can put a wife and kids in this house one day. That's his motivation to buy a house. The majority of men. Women will buy a house as a status symbol and as a disqualifier for potential mates. That's why women buy houses. So let's look at this woman's story here. It says, record housing prices and rapidly rising interest rates have many people questioning the value and viability of homeownership. We're just house poor now. Oh, of course. Okay, guys, I'm black. I can say this, but of course, it's a black single mom. Of course. It says, Christina Riggins had 30 days to move after her landlord's management company told her they were selling the home she was renting with her 3 children. Told you. And no mention of a man or a husband in this article at all, I bet. Single mom, 3 children. Unable to find an affordable rental in time, rents in Columbus, Georgia were rising. Riggins ended up moving her family into a hotel, uncertain of what to do next. She had been pre-approved for a mortgage about a year earlier at a rate of 3.5%, so she started looking more seriously at buying. I said, well, if I'm going to pay this rent, I might as well buy, she told BuzzFeed News. And that's a woman's way of looking at it. Okay? You got to do a cost-benefit analysis. Why are you... There are times where renting is better than buying. There may be something with the market like it is right now. You may want to remain upwardly mobile in the job market. There are plenty of reasons to rent instead of buy. Like many people caught in the latest home buying rush, however, Riggins, who processes medical claims for work, was repeatedly outbid. Her agent said she would have to go above a home's asking price if she wanted to close a deal. Now, how does she get approved for a home loan processing medical claims with 3 kids? That is one of the major questions. The last 2 years have been a chaotic and frustrating time for many buyers, as low mortgage rates and record high rents stirred up an unprecedented hysteria to own a place to live, still an enduring component of the American dream. It led to feverish bidding wars, hasty closings. Mortgage rates spiked in 2022. Investors now expect home values to drop in 39% of cities next year. Yeah, but by how much? Okay, as the frenzy tapers off and the economy seems to be moving toward another recession, the R word, you can't say that. Some people who bought at the peak regret buying properties that now seem overpriced. What do you guys think was going to happen? BuzzFeed News heard from people around the country who bought a house in the last 2 years and said they now regret it financially. Overall, they described feeling trapped by rising housing costs. No matter if they rented or bought, and had little leverage against landlords, sellers, and banks. Many ended up in multiple bidding wars against other buyers and felt the price they closed at was ultimately too high, but did not see another option as rents were also rising. No one foresees these people to buy houses, especially the women. And guys, watch. The market's going to fall. Maybe not 2024, but certainly in 2025. You can see all these articles about predatory lending, this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, you sign on the dotted line. It's the same thing with these student loans, guys. Don't feel bad for people for people with a bunch of student loans. They signed that promissory note. If you didn't read the fine print, that's your problem. God, I can't believe like we're having this conversation. Some who bought in the early months of the cough relied on video tours before closing. What a dumb idea, because cough restrictions prevented them from entering the future houses. They later found costly problems with their homes that were not identified by their inspectors. Meanwhile, home repairs have been slow and expensive due to cough related supply chain issues, labor shortages. Financing repairs is challenging when home values are set to decline. And remember, guys, there are less and less blue collar workers, man. You know, I just moved from the DC area, the Maryland side, and just for a plumber to come into your house in the DMV, it's like $300. And it's only going to get more and more expensive because you have less and less men doing blue collar work, and women ain't going to do it. Women ain't going to become garbage collectors, plumbers, landscapers, woodworkers, carpenters. It's men doing it. I always say if Doug and PA could do it again, if I were a 22-year-old young man, you best believe I go to tech school to become a mechanic or a freaking plumber. Or I get a CDL and drive truck for 5 years. All these factors left these owners wondering whether it was worth it after all. I almost feel like it's a scam or a trick to get me more into debt. I worked so hard to get my credit up to even be able to apply for a mortgage, Reagan said. Homeownership is almost another way to keep people under. Okay, so here's her story. In May, Reagan's $202,000 offer on a 3-bedroom home with a yard was accepted, but interest rates were rising. I started to back out so many times, especially when I was going through those bidding wars, and even this, I didn't feel good about bidding that much, she said. I'll never forget when my agent did the paperwork and turned it in. I didn't get any sleep at night. I remember calling her the next morning and was like, I'm thinking about backing out, and you should have. Maybe I should just find a place to rent. Reagan said that the agent reminded her that a home is an investment, that when rates were lower, she could refinance. Okay, so let me talk about that. This whole I'm going to buy at a high interest rate and then refinance in 2 years. Guys, come on, man. Like, how did that... You're banking on so many what ifs when you do that. What if 2 years from now, your home value is in the toilet? What if the interest rates are still the same? People don't think about this stuff. And she suggested she cut corners somewhere to try to pick up a part-time job. Now, she has 3 children, guys. Pick up a part-time job. Reagan's tried her best to shake off her nerves and moved ahead with the sale. It was a relief to finally be able to move her kids out of the hotel. But by the time she closed in July, her mortgage rate was 6%, setting off a chain of financial consequences she was unprepared for. I feel like I bought more problems, because you did, young lady. Reagan's monthly rent had only been $800 a month. Her mortgage payment for a home of the same size is about $1,500 a month. Oh, so she must have moved into a hotel. Oh, she moved into a hotel because the place where she was renting, she had to get out. So that's what happened. The house also needed repairs that her inspector did not catch. None of the kitchen appliances worked. There were electrical issues. The roof needed to be fixed. She found mold under the cabinets. I feel like I was really screwed over and put in a really bad place. It's because you were. And honestly, this is going to sound bad, but you know, if you get got, you get got. The sellers knew all that stuff was there, and if it doesn't get caught on inspection, you don't say anything, guys. Piece of advice for when you're selling a house, because if you buy enough properties, it's going to happen to you one day. Whatever the inspector catches, do that, and don't say anything about anybody else, and don't feel bad about anything else in the house going wrong, and don't feel bad about it, because people do it all the time. Regan's depleted her savings and has nearly maxed out her credit cards. which she previously kept only for emergencies. She downsized from an SUV to a sedan to reduce her car payments. Reagan is getting by paycheck to paycheck now and earning extra money by working for Instacart and renting out her car. Still, there was no wiggle room to take her daughter out for her birthday this year. Yikes, that's awful. Record housing prices and rapidly rising interest rates have many people questioning the value and viability of homeownership. Listen to this, guys. The median wholesale price in the U.S. has jumped by 34% to $440,300 in mid-2022 from $327,000 in 2019. And this is back in October of 2022, guys. God. The house is a lemon, said Joshua Wignett, who bought a 4-bedroom home 40 minutes outside of San Diego. See, that's his first mistake. It's buying in San Diego. In April for $730,000, $31,000 over asking price, after losing out on 7 homes, 7 other houses. Wingett and his husband are now dealing with $20,000 in repairs. Do we have a choice? He said. They've been living with a friend and need to move, whether it be renting or buying. We did what we could, the best we could. It's costing us 55% of our income, and it sucks to have no free spending money, but at least we have a roof over our head. Wingett plans to refinance if mortgage rates decline and is considering renting out rooms to make ends meet. Guys, I just don't feel bad for these people, man. I don't. I might do a live stream to cover more and more of this, but I wanted to keep this video short. Guys, please put in the comments any kind of home buying stories of people that regret their houses, buying their houses. Share in the comments and let me know what you think about this, because I don't feel bad for them at all, guys. Sometimes it's better to rent. The days of buying a house for a freaking investment are over. You need to buy a house to live in long term, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.